We all think about luck, right? It feels like this magical, mysterious force that can completely make or break a life. But what if it's not random at all? What if luck is actually a skill you can learn? Well, let's dive into the science and see if it's possible to make your own good fortune.
So, just how powerful is luck? Let me tell you a story. Picture a guy named Barnett Helzberg Jr. By 1994, he'd built this jewelry store empire worth about $300 million, and he was about to get very, very lucky. So one day, Helzberg is just walking down a street in New York, right past the Plaza Hotel, when he hears a woman call out,
Mr. Buffett!
Mr. Buffett!
He glances over and realizes the guy next to him might just be the Warren Buffett, one of the greatest investors in America. He doesn't hesitate. He seizes the moment, introduces himself, and just a year later, Buffett buys his company. One chance encounter on a street corner changed literally everything. And hey, this isn't just about making millions in business. As psychologist Alfred Bandura pointed out, these random little moments define our personal lives too. I mean, take Bandura himself. He met his future wife completely by accident. He got bored with some reading, decided to go golfing instead, and just so happened to get paired up with two women, and one of them would become his wife. A totally trivial circumstance with a life-altering result. So when you see how much power these totally random moments have, well, it's no wonder we spent like centuries trying to get a handle on our luck. And for most of human history, our main method for doing that has been superstition. And you know what's wild? A lot of our modern superstitions have these super ancient roots. Ever knock on wood? Well, that actually comes from pagan rituals to call on powerful tree gods for a little help. Think the number 13 is unlucky? That goes all the way back to the 13 guests at the Last Supper. And walking under a ladder? That was seen as breaking the sacred triangle of the Holy Trinity.
And don't think for a second this is just ancient history. A Gallup poll found that over half of Americans today admit to being at least a little superstitious. We're still really invested in these old ideas.
In fact, get this, a whopping 72% of people admit to owning at least one good luck charm. It seems like whether we want to admit it or not, we're all still looking for that little edge to tip fortune in our favor.
Okay, so here's the million-dollar question, right? Does any of this stuff actually work? Do lucky charms or avoiding black cats make any kind of real difference? Let's see what the science says. I love this one experiment that was actually done by a high school student. He had people play a simple coin-tossing game. Then he had a black cat walk across their path and had them play again. He even used a white cat just to be sure. And the result? Absolutely zero effect. The cat's color meant nothing for their luck. All right, so black cats are off the hook. But what about lucky charms? Well, a psychologist named Richard Wiseman decided to put them to the test. He gave a bunch of volunteers these lucky charms and just had them track their lives for a few weeks. So after all that, what kind of massive, life-changing effect did these charms have? Zero. Nada. Zilch. There was absolutely no change in their happiness, their satisfaction, or how lucky they felt. In fact, some people actually felt they'd been unlucky and were kind of relieved to give the charms back. Okay, so if superstition is a total dead end, what's the real deal? What actually separates lucky people from unlucky ones? To find out, WISEMEN launched this massive 10-year study looking at 400 people who saw themselves as either super lucky or super unlucky. And what he found is just fascinating. To really get what he found, let's try a little thought experiment. Imagine I hand you a newspaper and I say, "Quick, count how many photos are in here." What would you do? You'd probably start flipping through, right? Page by page, carefully counting every single one. Well, in Wiseman's real experiment, that's exactly what the unlucky people did. It took them about 2 minutes. But the lucky folks, they were done in seconds. How? Because right there on page 2 in giant 2-inch high letters was a message. Stop counting. There are 43 photographs in this newspaper. The lucky people saw it. The unlucky people were so focused on counting, they completely missed it. And this right here is the whole point. Unlucky people tend to be more anxious, more tense, and that creates this kind of tunnel vision. They're looking so hard for one specific thing, they miss all the unexpected opportunities right in front of them. The harder they look, the less they see. Lucky people, on the other hand, are more relaxed and open, so they spot what's actually there, not just what they're looking for. So what the research showed is that lucky people aren't born that way. It's all about how they think and act. And it pretty much boils down to 4 core principles. 1, they're great at noticing opportunities. 2, they trust their gut feelings. 3, they expect good things to happen. And finally, and this one is huge,
They have this incredible ability to turn bad luck into something good.
Let's dig into that fourth principle for a second, resilience. The research on Olympic athletes here is just amazing. It turns out bronze medalists are often way happier than silver medalists. Isn't that wild? It's all about how you frame it. The silver medalist is thinking, I almost had gold. But the bronze medalist is thinking, wow, I'm so lucky I got a medal at all.
And lucky people do this kind of reframing automatically. When they were given this hypothetical scenario, you get shot in the arm during a bank robbery, the unlucky people are like, of course, just my terrible luck. But the lucky people, they immediately reframed it. They focused on how it could have been worse. Wow, it's so lucky I wasn't shot in the head. Or even, hey, maybe I can sell my story to the news. This counterfactual thinking keeps them optimistic.
So all of this leads to a really cool question, right? If luck is basically just a set of skills and attitudes, could you actually teach someone to be lucky? Well, WISEMEN decided to find out. He created something he called Luck School. He took his group of self-proclaimed unlucky volunteers, and for a whole month, he trained them in those 4 principles of lucky people. He gave them exercises to help them spot opportunities, trust their intuition, expect good things, and reframe the bad stuff.
And the results? Honestly, they were incredible. After just 1 month, a full 80% of the participants said they were happier, more satisfied with their lives, and, you guessed it, luckier. He literally turned unlucky people into lucky people.
I mean, take Patricia. She was a flight attendant who felt like a walking disaster. Her flights were hit by lightning, they made emergency landings, you name it. After the course, though, her bad luck just vanished. She said she felt like a whole new person, that for the first time, things were finally going her way.
So what's the big takeaway from all of this? It's that luck isn't magic. It's not some strange external force that just picks and chooses people. The science is pretty clear. Luck is largely a direct result of how you think and what you do. It's a mindset you can actually cultivate. Which leaves us with one last thought. Now that you know you have way more control than you probably thought you did, what's one small thing you can do today to start making your own good fortune?
If you enjoyed this summary and found it valuable, please like, share, and subscribe to the channel. Your support helps us bring more powerful insights and the next great book straight to you.